Oh no, I love watching them though. That's awesome.
Again on Thursday.
Did you ever wrestle?
I did not. No, I was a basketball player.
Your brother was.
Yep, he used to. He stopped, and he's a volleyball player now. It's pretty fun to watch volleyball. I don't know if you guys have ever checked that out, but it's a lot of fun.
AJ, oh sorry.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So soon after the draft comes, the next thing people do is always say, well, let's talk about the 2020 NFL draft. Your name is in the first round, high in the first round, all of them. Do you look at that and you say there's motivation? Do you block it out? How do you approach it?
I've seen some of those things, and I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is like, wow, that's pretty cool. I mean, it's it's a lifelong dream. But whenever I really think about it, I try not to think too hard about it because I don't want it to distract me from other things. And obviously, it's a blessing to be put up that high with such other big names and some of those guys that I know that are really good at the game of football. But I really focus on trying not to think about it that much because I don't want it to take away from my game I am now, or just think too much about it and really just forget what I'm doing. And I basically just don't want to lose focus on what's going on here.
Can it also be motivation for you though too, knowing what is possible if you just keep working?
Yeah, and I see it that way too, is that the possibilities of what can happen. And I mean, ever since you're a kid, you think about stuff like that and playing at the highest level and then potentially being picked at the highest round for the highest level, and that's just like a dream come true. So it definitely motivates me, but I mean, I try not to think about it too much. Like I said, yeah.
I watched the Outback Bowl again the other night, and this 3 senior defensive linemen, Parker, Nelson, both the Nelsons. If you could take a little bit out of those 3 guys, what would you take from them and put into your game this year?
Well, I would literally say something to my teammate about this the other day. It's like if I could create my perfect self, I would take Parker's effort and want to. And I mean, everyone knows Parker's effort was just the greatest anyone could ever ask for. And Anthony Nelson's technique and his fundamentals, and how he's just the most technical and fundamentally sound guy I know. And I mean, obviously Matt's size, he's a big dude. And I would mix in my athleticism, and I just think like if I could do that, like that would be. I mean, if I could create that, that'd be great. But
It would be Chauncey, right?
Exactly. But after I said it, I thought about it. I was like, well, all those things I'm very capable of doing on my own.
Absolutely.
Like I can put in a little more effort like Parker, and I can focus on the details more like Anthony. So all those things can come to fruition. They can be real, and it's just a matter of me doing it.
I think Parker was smiling the entire time during your kind of goal line stand there in the fourth quarter. You guys you forced him to a field goal. Is that the kind of you want to bring that? I mean, that ease and that this is the job, let's do it.
Yeah.
And I think Parker was all about that.
Yeah, and I mean, the defense has a saying: we don't ask who started the fire, we just put it out. And I mean, wherever there's trouble, we just go and try to clean it up. And I think Parker really embodied just kind of that attitude of just really enjoying having the privilege to play football for the Iowa Hawkeyes and the Big Ten football team in general. And I think a lot of guys like Parker really just try to do that because I don't think most schools wanted someone like Parker Hesse because of his height, because of his height, his size, and all that stuff. But he worked himself into what he is, and that's a great football player. So, I mean, he's in the NFL now, so a lot of people wish they could have Parker Hesse, I'm sure. But, yeah, I mean, he really embodies the Iowa Hawkeye way, and that's just who he is.
Have you